The end of the year is approaching, and this is when everybody starts making resolutions that they'll abandon 3 weeks into the new year. My advice to you is to forget resolutions and be a person of action. Instead of hoping for a better 2026, here are 10 money moves that will actually change your financial life next year. Let's dive right in. Number 1 is to review your expenses. That's right. I know this is a very painful thing to do, but the reality is that you can't build wealth if you don't know where your money is going. Put your last few months of bank and credit card statements at everything, and I mean everything: rent, mortgage, groceries, Amazon, random takeouts. I mean all of it. See, the problem is that most people think they spend less than they do. They're always wrong. I know, because I used to do the same thing, and I know that whatever I estimate is way off. The importance of this is that when you finally know your real monthly number, or at least an average, then you can start making intentional decisions instead of guesses. And this number becomes the foundation for your entire financial plan. It's amazing how we will underestimate how much money we spend, and it's very similar to how much we eat. We think we eat little when in reality we eat more, or we think we eat more when maybe sometimes we eat a lot less than we think. It's the same thing. Look, you can't control what you can't track, what you can't understand, what you don't understand. So please do yourself a favor and review your expenses, because it is foundational to the next thing that we have to do this next year. That is, review your savings. See, once you know what you spend, then you can check your savings now and ask yourself, do you have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved? Well, if you don't, make that your goal for 2026. This is your emergency fund, the buffer between you and chaos. Let me share a personal story. I just purchased a home recently, and within a few days of closing on this home, we got hit with a hailstorm. My whole roof needs to be replaced. I got hit with a large deductible to get this replaced. Now, if I was not prepared for these sort of things, I think I would have been crying. But the truth is, I had not even moved into the house, and it was already costing me a lot of money. When you have an emergency fund, you know what? You can sleep a lot better than you would if you didn't. And even if you start small, simply automate transfers every paycheck, because this isn't about the interest rates. It's about buying peace of mind. And I highly recommend you don't use your big bank's savings account. Instead, open up a high yield savings account. I use Charles Schwab, but there's a whole lot of them out there. And right now in the US, they're paying around 3.5% to 4%. So don't put your money in your big banks. You don't get much out of that. I'd rather take 4% than 0.05%. Next is to maximize your 401k, and here's how you can do it. If your company matches, contribute at least enough to get that full match. That is free money. Now, if you already do, and maybe you're even maxing out your 401k, increase it by 1%. You won't feel the difference in your paycheck, but your future self will thank you for making that a habit. Then check your total contributions for the year and ask yourself, are you on track to hit your goal or the max limit? This is the simplest way to build wealth quietly while you sleep. Now, I want to warn you, you don't want to put all your money into a retirement account, and you certainly don't want to do what I did back in the days, which is not to open up a Roth IRA. And by the way, one of the biggest investments that people make with 401k accounts and Roth IRAs is to open the accounts up, make the transfers, and then just let the money sit there without choosing the investments. Guys, if you don't choose investments, the money just sits there. 20 years from now, it'll just be cash. Don't make that mistake. But if you don't have a Roth IRA, this is the fourth thing that I would do this year to make a change in my life. Open and fund a Roth IRA, and make sure you pick investments for the money that you're sending to that account. You invest after tax dollars, and your gains will grow tax-free forever. Now, I mentioned that I ignored this for years. I just didn't know. I lost out on massive tax-free growth. Don't make that mistake. I know, I'm an idiot. And I'm telling you that I lost a lot of money because I just didn't know. Ignorance is not bliss. ignorance will keep you poor. So if you can, max it out. If you cannot, then contribute what you can. But the key is to start. The earlier you begin, the more time your money has to multiply. Next is to use your employee stock plan or open up a brokerage account. If your employer offers a stock purchase plan, take advantage of it, especially if there is a discount. At one of my old jobs, I got a 10% discount on the company stock, and this was a pretty stable company. That was instant 10% return on day one. Now, if your company doesn't offer one, then open a taxable brokerage account and start investing there. Keep it simple. Start with broad index funds like the S&P 500 and contribute consistently. Just invest consistently every month. The goal is to build wealth outside of your paycheck and cash reserves. Next move is to review your total contributions. Now, what do I mean by contributions? Everything. Review how much money you put into your 401k, how much money you put into your Roth IRA, how much money you have in savings, and how much money you may have in a taxable brokerage account. This should take you seconds. There's no need to overanalyze this, but add everything you contributed this year. And then ask yourself, can I increase any of this by just 1%? That little bump doesn't hurt, will not hurt your lifestyle today, but what happens is that it compounds massively over decades, because building wealth is not about one big move. It's about consistently doing a little more each year. By the way, guys, if we don't know each other, if you're new to this channel, I am Marlon Argueta, and I'm just a regular guy with a regular 9-to-5 who became a millionaire. But let's dive right into the video. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Now let's get back to the video. Next is to pay down at least one high interest debt. If you have credit card balances, make this year the year that you eliminate at least one completely, if not all of them. Start with the smallest or maybe even the highest interest balance, whichever is going to keep you motivated. When I had credit card debt, which I don't anymore, I am not paying those interest rates, I decided to hit the ones with the highest interest first. Now, other people would tell you to go after the smallest balances because that gives you a boost. It makes you feel better because you feel that you're making quicker progress, which keeps you motivated to pay down those balances. Ultimately, it's up to you, but just remember that every dollar you stop paying in interest is a dollar that you can start using to invest in your future, because debt kills momentum. Freeing yourself from even one payment gives you massive confidence. Next move is to give your money a goal. That's right. Saving without a purpose doesn't always work. So ask yourself, what are you saving for? Maybe it could be a home, a new car, financial freedom, or just peace of mind. In my experience, when your money has a job, so to speak, saving stops feeling like it's a punishment. Let me share a story with you. The reason why I save a lot of money is not because I want to spend it in the future necessarily, although I could spend it, but because I grew up without a lot of money. And so not having money makes me really nervous. And so I made it a goal to save and to have enough reserves so that if anything happened, I knew that I would be okay. Now, your motivations might be different. Maybe you just want to buy a new car or a home or anything. Maybe you just want to have reserves so that in case something happens, you feel protected. Put a reason to that action because it will pay off in the future. I know that clarity turns discipline into motivation. Next money move is to review your career and income potential. This is really important and something that I didn't do for probably 15 years or 10 years of my career. And I think that held me back because I did not review my own career and my own progress. I didn't set real goals for myself. And here's the truth. Your income is your greatest wealth building tool. But most people never stop to question if they're maximizing it. So take a look look at your career right now and ask yourself, are you being paid what you're worth, right? If not, could you learn a skill, change jobs, get a certification, or just simply make a move that increases your income next year? Because even a 5 or even a 10% raise invested wisely can change your financial future forever. You don't need a side hustle to get ahead. You just need to make your 9 to 5 work harder for you. Now, that is not to say that you can't have a side hustle. Of course you can, but you don't have to. You can make smart moves and build your career and become one of the 10% earners in any industry. You can become a top performer and earn everybody in your field, but you have to be willing to make the sacrifices, and you have to make that your goal. Next money move, and it is absolutely crucial that we all do this, is to learn at least one new financial concept this coming year. Now, none of us need to become financial experts. We just have to pick one thing to learn. Maybe it's about investing basics, how compounding interest works, or how taxes affect your paycheck. Just watch videos, read a book, listen to relevant podcast, and then apply what you learn, because financial freedom doesn't come from luck. It comes from understanding how money works. How money works is not something that is taught in schools. It is essential that we educate ourselves so that we can make better financial decisions in the future. If you do these 10 things in 2026, you'll be miles ahead of most people. Not because you work harder, but because you work smarter. If you want to learn how I became a millionaire and how you can apply those concepts in the coming year, watch this next.